Hari Om students, welcome to online class. Today I am going to talk about a poem called Wind. It was written by Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati. Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati. By listening the name itself, don't come to conclusion that he was female, but Subramanya Bharati was male and actively participated, means he was interested and he was some patriotic person and interested to participate in Indian independence movement. Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati was also known as Bharati Iyer, who was born on 11th December 1882 and he was died on 11th September 1921. He was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, and also one of the Indian independence activists and a social reformer. Not only a writer, but poet, journalist, Indian independence activist, a social reformer. He was popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati. So he was popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati. He was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil literary figures of all time. So, among all the Tamil literary figures, he was one of the and familiar personality in Tamil poetry. His numerous works included fairy songs, killing patriotism during the Indian independence movement. Mainly, all his work plays a major role on patriotism, and the songs which was framed by him and the works, everything it resembles Indian independence movement. Actually, the poem Wind was written by Subramanya Bharati in Tamil and it was translated by R.K. Narayan. You can observe this picture and you are very familiar with this person, R.K. Narayan, who was the one of the founder, one of the writer of Malgudi stories. So, Wind poem was actually written on Tamil and again it was translated by R.K. Narayan in English. Yes, introduction to the poem here. We all know that wind is a natural phenomena. Wind is a natural phenomenon. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described, and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the adversities of life and says that the weak people break down, but strong people emerge out of adversities and they'll become more stronger. Yes, what is the main intention of the poem? What is the central idea of the poem? Means here the poet talks directly to the wind and he was saying that how the wind destruction, how the destruction happened, how the wind causes destruction and what makes the wind to do that. In the same way, he symbolizes the wind to the adversities in our life. Just he took the symbol wind, but the main intention of the poet is to say that if we are mentally strong, physically strong, mentally tough, means then only we are able to face many challenges and we are able to overcome many adversities. So here the poet take the wind as a symbol. So keeping the wind as a symbol, the poet talk to the wind. The poet here talks to the wind and how it is going to destruct everything and the destruction caused by the wind, how much damage it was going to give the humankind or everything. In that way the poet explained each and everything was comparison, means it symbolizes, wind only symbolizes the adversities of our life, how we have to become if we face any challenge, means if we any challenge, means for sure strong people they will become more stronger, but weak people, what they will become, they will break down, they will become more weak. But if we are strong, means for sure the adversities, the challenges, they'll become friends to us. This is the main intention of the poet here, to describe in a different way, keeping wind as a symbol. Understood, ma'am? See, the poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. We must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. Yes, weak people, what will happen to weak people? If the door was too weak means it was not able to accept the force which was given by the wind. If it is too strong means it is not too much strong for the door, isn't it? So in that way we should overcome all the problems, we should overcome all the adversities in our life. We should be more strong and strong. If we are strong means for sure the problems, the challenges, everything will become friends for us. That is our strength, that is our determination. This is the main central key of the poem. Wind. The wind blows strongly and causes a lot of destruction. How can we make friends with it? This is the main question. For giving answer for this question, the entire poem will be there. The wind blows strongly and causes a lot of destruction. How can we make friends with it? How we have to make friends with it? Here, wind in the sense, nothing but the problems or the adversities or the challenges in our life. Challenges or adversities make us more weak and weak. How we have to become strong and how we have to make the problems or adversities or challenges as our friends. This is the main thing. If you want to get the answer for this, let's look into the poem. Wind comes softly, wind comes softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of books. You brought rain again. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. See here, wind, come softly. Here the poet was asking, and the poet was saying that, wind, why are you coming too fast? There is no need to come in such a harsh way. Come slowly. Be soft, be kind. Come softly. Don't break the shutters of the window. The fast which you are coming, how much harsh you are coming, that you are breaking the shutters of the window. Don't do that. Don't scatter the papers. The force are scattering the papers. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. We arranged all the books in the shelf. Through that force, through your force, all the books on the shelf were throwing down. There, look what you did. Observe there. What is the destruction you done there? You threw them all down. You threw all the books on the shelf down. And you scattered all the papers. You shuttered the windows. You brought rain again. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. Again, of course, when the wind was happening, it is the one of the symptom of that rain is coming, right? So you brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Poking fun means making fun. Weakling means the person who is weak. So wind comes softly. In that way, the poet talking to the wind. Here, the main intention of the poet means here wind coughed softly. Softly, it resembles child. Wind, you should come softly, you should come slowly, like how the child will come, like how the small child will behave. In that way, he was saying. And in here, in these four lines, you can see that wind was very strong, that the poet was saying it was like youth. How the youth will be? They will be very strong and they will be very energetic, right? So here in these lines the poet was saying that wind was too strong and it was breaking all the things, scattering the papers, throwing down the books on the shelf, and whatever he wants to do he was doing with his strength and energy. So here we can take it as youth. And you are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. So you are very clever. You only concentrate on more majorly on weak people. If the doors For example, if the windows of the doors of the windows is curtain shutters of the windows was too loose, means too weak, means you are going to shutter them, you are going to break them. If the pages are too weak, means you are going to scatter the papers. So have you are very clever at making fun of weaklings, not the strong people but weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling herds. So here you're making fun at weak people, and you may frail crumbling houses. Crumbling means which is breaking. You can break houses, break doors, breaking doors, crumbling rafters. Rafter means the beam which supports for the roof. And you may crumble wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives in the sense it may be animals, human beings, whatever it may be, crumbling herds. So this was the destruction caused by you. So that's why wind, you should come slowly. No need to come so harshly. No need to come so loudly. Please come slowly. In that way, the poet was talking to the wind. God of the wind god winnows means winnower is a person who separates the wheat, grains of the wheat from the chaff. So here, winnows and crushes them all. He won't do what you tell him. So, come, let's build strong homes. Let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Yes, here the poet was saying that the wind god winnows. Winnow means the winnower is a person. You can observe this picture. Winnower is a person who separates the grains of wheat from the chaff. So they were separating the wheat from the chaff. So here also, and crushes them all, means the main intention of the poet was, he was saying that how the winnower separates the grain from the wheat from chaff. In the same manner, if winnower, wind god also will separate the strong people to weak people. Weak people may crash down, but strong people will become more and more stronger. So he was comparing in that way. He won't do what you tell him. Whatever you tell him, he was not going to do. It is his wish. So come, let's build strong homes. So if we want to overcome this situation, means everything we have to become strong. Our mentally we should be strong. Physically we should be strong. So then only we can overcome this situation. So for example, if wind was too strong, means we have to build strong doors, we have to build strong homes, in that way. If we want to be strong people, means how we should be strong people, we should be mentally tough and physically strong. Then only we can face each and every challenge, then only we can face adversities, then only we can face challenges. In that way the poet was saying, let's join the doors firmly. Firmly means strongly. Practice to firm the body. Make your body too strong and make your heart also strong. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. Yes, if you are strong, if you are strong enough, for sure your adversities, your challenges will become friends to you. If your doors are strong enough, if your home was strong enough, for sure the wind can't touch your doors. So the wind will become friend to you. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. The wind makes weak fires blows out. The wind make weak fires blows out. Strong fires, it will roar and flourish. Flourish in the sense grown. His friendship is good. Its friendship is really good. We praise him every day. Here the poet used the word called praise, which means if wind is similar to God, isn't it? If we are strong enough, we are capable to face any adversities and challenges, then it is God for us. In that way, the poet symbolizes the wind as adversities of our life. Finally, the poet was saying that if we are strong enough, mentally tough and physically strong, we are capable of facing anything, any adversities, any challenges in our life. That is going to be one of the great point in our lives. So, this is about the poem. Let us check the literary devices in this poem. Before going to the summary, the literary devices, alliteration, anaphora, and symbolism, repetition, so many things were there. So, alliteration is derived from Latin's latera. It means letters of alphabet. It is the stylistic device in which a number of words having the same first consonant. Same first consonant. Remember this. Same first consonant sound occur close together in a series. Alliteration, assonance, consonance. Three will be somehow little bit with the slight changes. Three literary devices will be same: alliteration, assonance, and consonance. But alliteration means in one particular line, same consonant sound. First word, first consonant sound should be there in one particular line, not the letter ma. Once again, listen carefully, not the letter but the sound. Are you aware of phonetic sounds, right? So here once observe this and you can clearly understood by this example. But a better butter makes a batter butter. What is the common sound here? Ba. Not, you should not say the letter b, but the common sound here was ba. Ba, right? A big bully beats a baby boy. Here also the common sound ba. So the alliteration of these lines was ba. And anaphora. In writing or speech, the deliberate repetition of the first part of the sentence in order to achieve an artistic effect is known as anaphora. So in one particular paragraph or in one particular stanza, if the word is continuously repeating means not repeating but the beginning of the line was repeating from two or more consecutive lines, that is called anaphora. Why it was repeating means to give more importance to that line. See, for example, think this was a stanza or paragraph. O Lord, rebuke me not in the thine anger, neither chasten me in thy hot displeasure. Have mercy upon me. O Lord, for I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are vexed, my soul is also sore vexed, but thou. O Lord, how long? So what is the word here continuously repeated at the beginning of the line? O Lord. So the anaphora in this passage was O Lord. Understood, ma? Clear? Alliteration and anaphora. Next, repetition. Repetition is same but slight difference with anaphora. Where anaphora, it's starting words in every line, the starting words, whereas the repetition is giving in one line it may come in two times, in one line it may come in three times. So here repetition is the literary device that repeats the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer and more memorable. There are several types of repetition commonly used in both prose and poetry. So here examples are: if you think you can do it, you can do it. The bird said, I don't sing because I'm happy. I'm happy because I sing. So here in one particular line, the same words will be repeated to make an idea clearer and more memorable. That is the repetition. Whereas anaphora is different from repetition. I hope you understood. Personification. This is one of the literary device here. Personification is a figure of speech in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. So you may identify what is personification in our poem. Yes, wind. Here, when the poet was talking about the wind, in some of the lines, he represents wind as a human being, like he you in that way. So this is the personification. For example, see here, look at my car, she is a beauty, isn't he? Here beauty represents to, we will represent beauty is the word for the human being, but here for the car we use this. The wind whispered through dry grass. Whispered is a thing, or the quality which was done by the living things, but it was given to normal things. Symbolism. One more literary device in this poem was symbolism. Symbolism is used of symbols to signify idea and qualities by giving them symbolic meaning that are different from the literary device. The dove is symbol of peace. What is the symbolism in our poem? Here, the poet was saying the wind was too strong and the wind was coming. If all the doors and everything was too strong, it is going to face it. Otherwise, weak things are going to scatter. In the same way, symbolizes to what? Wind was symbolizes to the adversities, challenges in our lives. This is the symbolism here. Let's get into your poem to check all these literary device what we discussed here. Yes, see here, don't, don't, don't. What literary device this is? Yes, anaphora. And one more here. You, you, you. This is also one of anaphora. And repetition was there here. What is the repetition? Crumbling, 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 again crumbling, and one more crumbling. So this we can consider as repetition. Repetition. Okay, this is anaphora. Okay, ma, this is anaphora and this is repetition. We covered two literary device, and also we mentioned personification. As I discussing with you personification, here the poet mentions wind as a person, like a he, you, in that way. You can observe this. You will tore the pages, you brought rain, you are very clear. And he also observe this, he also mentions he. Okay, this is personification. And one more thing, alliteration. Alliteration means the first sound of the word, same sound in one particular line. For example, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Va, 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 what. So here, what is the sound repeated here? Va sound. So this is alliteration. Got it, ma? So this is about literary devices in our poem. Let us discuss the summary of the poem. The first part of the poem describes the action of the wind. The poet asks the wind to come softly. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the windows, not to scatter the papers and throw down the books from the shelf. But the wind throws the books and tears the pages. The poet says that the wind makes a mockery of weaklings. It brings down frail houses, crumbling doors, rafters, and even weak hearts. It crushes everything that is weak. Yes, in first stanza, the poet explains the actions which was done by the wind. First, the poet asks the wind to come softly, and he requests not to break the shutters of the window, not to scatter the pages, not make the throw down the books which was there in the shelf. But finally, the wind done that particular thing, and he said, "See what you done. See what you done. You scattered the pages. You tear the pages. You throw the books and everything, and you are making fun at weak people. So whoever the weak, you are going to crush them. In that way, the poet explains the actions which was done by the wind. And in second stanza, the poet explains how we have to make friendship with that wind. At the same time, how he compares the wind god to the adversities and the changes, challenges which are faced by the human being. The poet advises us to be strong. Only then we can save ourselves from the wind. We should build strong homes with firm doors. Our bodies and hearts should be strong. It's the way of the world to kick the weak and to be the friends with the strong. So in the second stanza, the poet advises us to be strong, mentally tough and physically strong. We should build strong doors. We should bring firm doors and strong homes. Our bodies and hearts should be strong. In this world, we should be very strong, and weak people will be getting crushed. The wind blows out the weak fires, but make the strong fires grow and flourish. So weak fires, the wind blow out. If the strong fires, it will roar. It roar and flourish. Flourish means grows. Thus, the poem conveys the idea that nobody cares for the weak. Finally, what is the main idea of the poet means nobody is going to take, nobody is going to care about weak people. So you should be strong enough to face all the adversities, to face all the challenges which was happening in your life unexpectedly. If wind was coming, is it will give some indication that I am coming, tomorrow I will come, it will give some information before it exists? No, right? In the same manner, problems or challenges also, without intimation, it will enters into our life. But we should be strong enough to face the challenges and to overcome the challenges. So even the wind is on the side of the strong people. We must make ourselves strong to become successful and overcome the challenges in life. This is about the summary of the poem. Let us discuss the question and answers. First question, what are the things that wind does in the first stanza? First stanza, the poet explains entirely about the actions which was done by the wind. That he comes and he blows violently. It destroys everything. It breaks the shutters of the windows. It scatters the papers. It throws the books from the shelves, tear the pages, and bring a lot of rain. These are the things which was done by the wind in a first stanza. Have you seen anybody winnow grain at home or in a paddy field? What is the word in your language for winnowing? What do people use for winnowing? So of course the people who have crops, who are doing farming, whose parents are doing farming, who have some agriculture, for sure they'll have idea of this winnow grain. So just come to know about the word in our mother tongue. What is the meaning of that word and how we will spell that word? Just find it out. It is your task. What does the poet say the winnow god winnows? The wind god winnows means that nature shifts the weak things from the strong one. It will shuffle, means it will filter from weak people to strong people. If they are weak means it was going to crush them. If they're strong enough means it will become friends. Everything that is weak is tossed by the powerful wind and get destroyed. So weak means that is going to be destroyed in the hands of wind. Just like winnower separates the grains of the wheat from the chaff. How it compares that, how the winnower separates the grains of the wheat from chaff by doing this. In that way, the wind also going to separate the strong people from the weak people. If weak people, it is going to be crush them. Similarly, the wind got separate the weak from the strong. What should we do to make friends with the wind? We must make ourselves strong. We should be mentally tough and physically strong. We should be, our home should be strong, our thoughts should be strong, our heart should be strong. Then only we should make wind as a friend. What do the last four lines of the poem mean to you? The last four lines of the poem carry an important message that we should be ourselves strong. We should be strong like a burning fire which grows and flourishes in the violent wind. We also prosper in the face of challenges. We should be in that way. This is about wind poem. We also should be mentally and physically. Some people they are physically strong but mentally they are weak. Some people they are mentally strong but physically they are weak. If we want to overcome any circumstances, in some cases both mental or physical strength is more and more enough, so more important. So whenever you are facing challenges, you have to build, not only for the challenges means you can't wait if any adversities come into our life, then only I'm going to show my mental strength, then only I'm going to be strong, physically strong in that way. But always you should prepare yourself, you should be mentally strong and physically strong, then only you are capable, then only you are able to face all the adversities, all the challenges in your life. I hope you understood this poem. Hari Om. Thank you.